Storybook Brawl was nice enough to send me some dust codes, so I'm doing another giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win.
What is up, everybody? I'm NoLuxGiven, and today I wanted to take a look at a Fallen Angel game. And before I did that, I actually just had a little bit of a hunch. I was thinking Fallen Angel is pretty good right now, so I loaded up StorybookBrawlTracker.com/data to take a look at the actual statistics. And when you sort by average placement, Fallen Angel is the best hero by quite a bit. There is a sizable gap between Fallen Angel and some familiar favorites like Wonder Waddle, Zelhua, and Pied Piper, all coming in at about 3.6 average placement, with Fallen Angel performing better than some of those really good heroes. However, where things break down a little bit is the crown percentage, and crown percentage just means the ability to get first place on a hero. As you see, Fallen Angel, it's a little bit more spread out between first and fifth place, whereas these other heroes have a lot more win equity in the end game. And basically what that tells me is that Fallen Angel is a really powerful hero, but players might not know exactly how to capitalize on that power and turn it into a win. So that's exactly what we are going to take a look at today. In this video, we might not be Fallen Angel by the end of it, but Fallen Angel does still give us a lot of power to just do some powerful things with this lobby. We're going to start by picking up Sherwood Sure Shot, which is the only good or evil creature in this opening shop. Pretty straightforward first turn, however, I think things get a little bit interesting later on. This combat was funny because I would have rather won with my Sherwood Sure Shot, and I think my opponent might have been okay losing because they were sharing, so a little bit unlucky there. I wound up picking a Black Cat, which I think is the best early pickup that you can find on Fallen Angel, because if you can get 3 evil units, then all of a sudden it's a 3-1 that spawns a 3-1 just by itself, which is very good. For that reason, I am then going to shard my Sure Shot over into a Minotaur, and that is going to mean that we do lose this combat as well, but now we can pick up a third unit, which is evil, and play with that bonus. So now all of my characters have +2 attack. I will buy another Sherwood Sure Shot to complement that, and Sherwood Sure Shot gets a lot better once that has +2 attack as well. So now we are looking really strong. And I think that it is going to be tough to lose this one, even against something like Geppetto at 40 health, which can be pretty strong in the early game by its own right, but just all of these Black Cats and Sherwood Sure Shots are going to be tough for my opponent to deal with. And we do get a little bit lucky, but we do wind up getting a win on this combat. Actually, we get a tie, which is fine. I'll take it as a win. My opponent did get the Kitty Cup her sleigh, so maybe they won overall, but we were looking pretty good too. And from this shop, I really like Water Wraith. I think that Water Wraith adds a really nice unit for summon comps, which Fallen Angel generally falls under the category of. And from there, I just pick up the Golden Chicken, which is a neutral unit, but it could potentially let us buy better good units in the future. I don't really care about Humpty Dumpty. I don't even always care about the good bonus on Fallen Angel. I think that that's something that some players will look into. I'll go for it sometimes, and you will see me make use of the good bonus a little bit later on in this video. But it's not super necessary. You don't have to go out of your way to get it. Just if you get it, it's a nice sort of thing. And here, I think that the best possible thing that we could do is probably picking up this Mummy. That seems very good. And then the Sure Shot, also making use of the bonus. And from there, I think we're strong enough with these Sure Shots that we can pick up a prized pig. So I'm going to sell off my Golden Chicken, pick up the prized pig. Now, there are still a few options for how you could order and play this board, and I decided to just throw in the Labyrinth Minotaur into slot 4, so that way we are pumping up our other things in the front line. You could also look at something like this if you are worried about how many 1 health units you are playing, because a Falling Stars could really destroy us here. I think that's kind of unavoidable. I think that if my opponent has Falling Stars, we probably just lose regardless. So I'm just going to go all in, play the Minotaur. They don't have Falling Stars, they do have Lightning Dragon, and then Brave Princess attacks into our Labyrinth Minotaur, so a little bit awkward, but we still get to keep the prized pig. So that's the important thing. Now we've got 9 gold this turn, going to pick up another Wretched Mummy before rolling twice. That lets us find a Wish Upon a Star, which I think is something that you definitely want to be doing once you are playing Fallen Angel because you're just so strong in that early game. And then once we pick up the Wish Upon a Star, all I'm thinking is, well, how can we get stronger this turn? And I see the Easter egg, which is going to do 2 things. One, it's going to be a 9/9. Pretty good, could allow us to win the combat. But the other thing just takes away that small chance that my opponent has Falling Stars and is able to win the combat, because now we're even more susceptible to Falling Stars playing the double Mummy, the double Sure Shot, and the Black Cat. So we'll go for both ends of the bonus here, at least for this turn, just to make sure that we can win that wish, and then we will be level 4. And one thing that I'm trying to do with Fallen Angel, especially in the mid-game, is look for monsters. Mummy is very, very good on Fallen Angel. We're going to win this combat easily, by the way. Backline didn't even matter, but Friendly Spirit, also very, very good on Fallen Angel. I'll pick up this treasure here first to see what we get. We could have potentially gotten Fancy Pants, so worth looking for, but we don't find Fancy Pants. Instead, we find Eye of Ares, as well as 2 treasures that don't really work. So we have to decide if we want Eye of Ares or if we want to skip, sell the egg, pick up Copycat as well as the Friendly Spirit. But I think that Eye of Ares is going to work pretty well for us. We've got a Mummy, we've got a Black Cat, we've got 2 Sherwood Sure Shots, and then we'll also pick up this Friendly Spirit. So I think that overall, Eye of Ares will get more value out of than our opponents will. So we can actually make some good use out of it. And getting both sides of the bonus, very, very good for the Friendly Spirit, but I'm not super interested in Copycat because it's just tough to make work on Fallen Angel. Well, one thing is that we're going to be level 5 next turn, so locking onto that a little bit awkward. The other consideration is locking onto a neutral unit, also a little bit tough to justify there. We will get some justice against Sharon, grabbing the win there. Then we find a pair of eggs. So I'm going to grab the Easter egg treasure, I think. It doesn't provide too much for the current board, but it's still pretty powerful. And we do have these ranged units, and then we also have these monsters, all of which really appreciate the scaling of the Easter egg. So all of that seems pretty good. Again, we could take this Wombats, locking onto that here, though that is tricky to justify because it's a neutral unit, so I don't think I want it. I'm just going to pick up the Lancelot. Lancelot probably unlikely to activate. However, if the Friendly Spirit lands on the Lancelot, it will activate. I have to play the Black Cat plus the Mummy. Well, I want to play the Mummy, but I have to play the Black Cat for the +2 attack on the Fallen Angel. That's just too good to pass up. And then I think we are going to be good here. The Lightning Dragon takes out Lancelot, but they cannot take out our egg. That egg is just way too big in the back line, and we are going to walk away with a win and a little bit of some Easter egg bonus from that as well. I'll go for a Stone Skin on Friendly Spirit here. I think that that is just going to be worth it. You get to get use out of any spells that you cast on Friendly Spirit as long as it's big enough that you're going to be playing it for a while. So I think that that is worthwhile. Then I see another XP spell, which I think is going to be worth casting next turn. So a little bit of a puzzle on this board, because if I'm going to cast the XP, then I probably want to spend my gold this turn just picking up Lightning Dragon, just so that I'm doing something with my gold. It's probably a little bit too late in the game to pick up the Hippocampus, so I'm planning on picking up this Lightning Dragon, and then next turn picking up the Turkish Delight, and then using that to roll. Lightning Dragon, very good next to the Water Wraith. It's just a little bit tricky to puzzle out this board, considering we want to play 3 evil units and 3 good units. So that means not playing the Sherwood Sure Shot, I think, probably is our best avenue to victory. And we get pretty lucky this combat. Friendly Spirit is going to land on Lancelot, so we're also going to grab a tier 5 treasure, and we get the best possible tier 5 treasure. We find Staff of the Old Toad. It's an easy pickup there. So we pick up Staff of the Old Toad before picking up Turkish Delight and a Golden Chicken, and my plan was to purchase a tier 6 unit this turn, but it's hard to pass up Baba Yaga. So I'm going to sell off the Golden Chicken, pick up this Baba Yaga, and again, a little bit of a puzzle to try to put everything onto this board. Do we want to play the Water Wraith? Do we want to play the Lightning Dragon? Very tricky. I'm not really sure even what the best board is in this scenario, but I do like this configuration. I obviously want to put Lancelot in front of the Baba Yaga, and then Friendly Spirit in the back I think can work. Maybe we'd want to put the Friendly Spirit up front, but I'd rather the Mummy activate sooner in the combat. That way, I mean, the Mummy gets to hit for 34, it probably kills whatever it hits, but it could struggle a little bit. Oh, and I do put in the Sure Shot. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It could struggle against like a Queen of Hearts, for instance. Though we take out the Queen of Hearts immediately with Lightning Dragon, so that's not going to be a problem. And then Mummy takes out the Hippocampus. So looking pretty good. My opponent does have some rather large units though, as well as that Sarcophagus. And the Sure Shot went down to the Sarcophagus, and then they also have Cat's Call. So we do wind up taking some damage here, but now we are level 6 and we can start to roll for some better units. But before we do that, I think I want to dream. I don't think that this comp is actually what I want to stay on. You can make Fallen Angel work, and I meant to say this earlier, by rolling into like Oni Kings and playing a monster build, and we were definitely set up well for that, but I think the best way to play Fallen Angel is probably just to dream out of there once you hit 6 and try to hit 6 earlier with some bonus XP. So we're going to go to Trophy Hunter. I did mention yesterday that today's video is going to be pretty similar to yesterday's video. We've got back-to-back Trophy Hunter games going on, but Trophy Hunter is still a really, really tough hero to make work in the end game. We do find not one, but 2 good boys after dreaming into Trophy Hunter, so if we're able to make it work, it's probably going to be this game. We are looking pretty strong right here. We're not going to get the Slay with Good Boy, but we are going to get the Slay with Mummy. So that's 3 Mummy missiles to take out my opponent's squad there, and then we will take out this Juliet and even get an Easter egg trigger onto the Friendly Spirit. So things are looking pretty good here. I'll pick up another good boy, and then I'll pick up another good boy. And we've got a really, really tough decision to make here. Let me know what you would make in the comments down below. Pause the video right now and tell me which of these 3 treasures that you would pick. Ultimately, I decide on picking up Ivory Owl. I think that this game is going to go long enough that we're going to have the time to scale with Ivory Owl, and I'm also going to toss the Eye of Ares. I think that that part's probably, excuse me, a little bit more straightforward, tossing the Eye of Ares. I do like the Easter egg treasure still at this point in the game, especially because we just tripled up on the good boy, but I could also see tossing the Easter egg, keeping the Eye of Ares in this scenario. Wand of Weirding, very, very good. Getting to double cast spells on this good boy is going to be a way to give it a bunch of stats. Also, the Singing Sword, plus 15 attack on this good boy, going to make it very, very easy for it to slay. However, this is the route that I went with. I figured the game's still going to go on for a little bit longer, and I think that I can get enough scaling out of these owls to make it worth it. We're going to get pretty silly here with the Friendly Spirit slaying a few times and winning this combat with a huge Lancelot, and now we are on to the top 4. Pick up another Friendly Spirit, that's pretty good, and then I'll cast a Merlin's Test on my good boy, hopefully give it a little bit more stats to get it over that hump, and then I will pick up another Friendly Spirit. So gonna sell off the Humpty Dumpty and one of these Sure Shots here. Maybe we still play the other Sure Shot, and then I am just locking onto this Lucky Coin. But I realize I actually don't really want any of these treasures. I could take Deck of Many Things, that would definitely be a consideration, but ultimately just going to ignore that. I do also consider locking onto Drink Me Potion here. I think that that could be pretty good for us, but just going to wind up rolling to finish off the turn, and hopefully this is enough. So Good Boy's going to go up to 20 attack now this turn, getting pretty big, and unfortunately not going to be big enough to slay against this Slay comp. They have a pretty big front line themselves, and Medusa taking out Friendly Spirit is actually awkward enough that we are going to lose this one. Lancelot does get to take out a few units before it dies, but will not be enough. So take a little bit of damage, down to 15, but the one thing that we do have going for us, it's going to be tough to take out this Slay comp, but we shouldn't really struggle against the Geppetto build, because Geppetto is just going to have really tiny things in the front for us to slay, and that should make things pretty easy. I go for plus 10 attack on the Good Boy here from the Gigantify or the Hugify, I forget which that spell is called, just to give my Good Boy a little bit more stats to pass on to everybody else, and I think that that is going to be enough for us, especially against Geppetto. I don't think that Geppetto had anything big, and probably still won't have anything big by the next time we see them. I'm going to pick up another Robin Wood after that, which I'm really just picking that up because it's another good unit that we can throw those Good Boy buffs on. So it is important to have some good units in here, not really playing it for the Robin Wood trigger, but just playing it so that it gets all of these stats from Good Boy and is a large ranged unit. And with these slaves, I think that we are definitely going to have enough stats to take on my opponent's Echo Wood. They don't really have too much else going on. Rotten Apple Tree is a little bit awkward because we're not going to be able to clear it, and then Friendly Spirit is going to attack into it, so that does take away some of our stats, but you can still see we are absolutely massive here. The Friendly Spirit did still get to slay, so we wind up dealing some nice damage to that Geppetto. Definitely don't want to dream, but one thing that we could do is live the dream here. We could pick up a Hercules and actually activate it in one turn up against the Ghost, kind of risk-free. So I'm going to go for that here. I don't really know what the Ghost is playing. Oh, that's right. I roll past it. I want to see if I can find like one more Good Boy or something, and then I find another Hercules. So I do wind up going back into it after rolling past it the first time. Spinning Gold, very, very good up against the Ghost. And then my plan is to also take a Pigomorph into the next combat. So I lock onto that spell. We can slay against the pig, as well as that just being very good in like a potential final scenario or something. So that's what we're looking for. Looks like Good Boy is going to not have enough stats to slay, but still be quite strong. Friendly Spirit will slay though, and that goes on to the Hercules, which is going to allow it to activate in one combat. Probably tossing the Easter egg here, though maybe tossing the Staff of the Old Toad. We shall see. We are going to win the Spinning Gold, which is nice, and Wand of Weirding, especially with this pig that we locked in the shop, I think is too good to pass up. I really do consider tossing the Easter egg, but we just have so many upgraded units that I don't want to give up this +3/+3. And then from there, I go for Pigomorph, and we're going to need it to take out this Slay comp. There's definitely an interesting like trifecta of builds going on here, in that the Slay comp, we're also playing a Slay comp, but we're just playing a smaller Slay comp, so we can't beat this Sharon's Slay comp, and both of us can beat this Geppetto pretty easily, but we are still going to need some work to be able to beat the Sharon ourselves. But we can both easily slay against the Geppetto. I'm not really worried about them. I'm just really worried about this Sharon right here. And ultimately, I'm just going to decide to play this comp as it is. And then I'll just pick up a Wizard's Familiar, locking on to the Baba Yaga and the Echo Wood in this shop for us. But hopefully these pigs can do some work, and we do actually get the slay with Good Boy. My opponent was just small enough that we were able to find a place to slay, and then they don't really have too much of a comp going on after that. So we are able to take out this Sharon, and from here, I think it's kind of smooth sailing. I think we should be able to take out this Geppetto pretty easily. And I do think maybe Blaze of Glory could help us on the good boy just to provide a little bit more stats, and then from there I'm just going to pick up the Baba Yaga and hang on to it on the bench in case something goes wrong. But I think Blaze of Glory will now be able to almost guarantee allow us to let this good boy slay, and then we should just get a bunch of stats on everything, a huge amount of stats on Echo Wood, and be strong enough to win this combat. So not really looking too worried, but you might be able to tell there's still a little bit of time left in this YouTube video. So this combat is going to be, or this finals rather, it's going to be a little bit more drawn out than I expected, and we'll definitely have a fight on our hands, and I think it gets a little bit spicy towards the end here too. Good boy can slay, it avoids hitting the hippo, but my opponent has 2 Echo Woods, which could certainly be good, though we're also going to get the slay now with Friendly Spirit, and my board's just absolutely massive. So not really seeming like this is going to be a problem. The Echo Woods do get big by the end of it, and that's going to be what allows my opponent to survive. They trade with the Echo Woods and then with the good boy, and they survive with 2 HP. So very well done by my opponent, able to stay alive here. And I'm thinking I don't actually really need the Blaze of Glory. The good boy is just going to be able to slay anything that attacks into. Maybe it won't be able to slay against the resummoned Bearstain. Maybe it won't be able to slay against the Hippocampus, but I don't think that the Blaze of Glory is really going to affect the combat that much. But Lightning Dragon could actually be good. Lightning Dragon can snipe the Bearstain, or it can snipe the Echo Woods. Either of those very, very good for us. So really looking forward to that. I don't really see a tier 5 treasure here that we need, especially as now I want to play the Lightning Dragon. I don't think it's worth picking up the Monkey's Paw and tossing the Easter egg. Like, it's +2/+2. It's really not anything super useful. I will throw a Beauty's Influence onto the Baba Yaga, and then I pick up another Lightning Dragon and I throw that into for some additional insurance, but unfortunately my Lightning Dragon attacks incorrectly, and so does my good boy. My good boy misses the 50/50, attacks into the Hippocampus, so now we are actually in trouble. Luckily, Echo Wood has enough health that it survives after attacking, but my opponent is just going to have a much bigger Echo Wood. So it's going to come down to this ranged unit that we have right here, and my opponent also has a Cat's Call to get an even bigger Echo Wood, but it's all going to come down to how many ranged attacks I can get. My opponent's Echo Wood attacks into it, and we almost die. We take 9 damage down to 6. We clear everything but the Echo Wood, so we were still pretty safe, but it did get a little bit dicey nonetheless. And this is where things get a little bit awkward, because I didn't win the combat, but I also revealed that I was going to be playing these Lightning Dragons, which might mean that I want to cut them. However, I think I'm still going to ride it. If we hit the Echo Wood, we'll have 2 chances to hit the Echo Wood. Well, really just 1 chance, because if we attack into the Princess Peep, that could be bad for us, but I think that this is still going to be good. The Summons comp, it's just so hard to mess around with that I think my opponent is going to have no choice but to allow me to get in there with the Lightning Dragons. I don't think they're going to have enough time to put something different together. I could definitely see an argument for cutting it here, but instead I just go for a Gigantify double cast on the good boy, hoping that that will be enough health even if something goes wrong. But everything goes exactly right there. We are going to take out my opponent's Echo Wood, and then good boy is going to get the slay. So that's a whole bunch of stats to the rest of my board, which means Friendly Spirit is now going to slay. That's a whole bunch more stats to the rest of my board. You can see the Echo Wood up to 2,500. That gets pretty big, and we're even going to make it a little bit bigger because Friendly Spirit is going to slay again, and Echo Wood's going to go up to the 5,000s as we find ourselves a win. Not exactly a Fallen Angel win, and we definitely played to the strengths of what we needed to do to win that lobby. This board is basically tailored up against our finals opponent here, but a really huge good boy on Trophy Hunter. The reason that we were able to find that, obviously, we got a little bit lucky, of course, as well. But we did just have such a huge lead from that Fallen Angel. We found the early XP. We wound up purchasing 3 XP throughout the game, I'd say. Maybe 2.5. We didn't really do anything with the parfait towards the end. But still, we got enough of a big lead early that we were able to transition that into something really spectacular in the end game. That is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace. For my giveaway this week, leave a comment on any of my videos and include the word monster.
New week, new code word, and you'll be entered into a chance to win a 4,000 dust code. The reason that I say to include the word, that way I can differentiate between the people just leaving a comment and those that are actually interested in the dust, to make sure that it goes to a person that will appreciate it. And there's no limit to how many times you can enter. You can go back and comment on some of my previous videos. I've been uploading daily Storybook Brawl videos for the past 7 or 8 months at this point, so I'm sure there is some sweet content that you have yet to see. And yeah, you can enter multiple times. I will do a new code next week, and the other thing that I wanted to say is that if a bunch of people enter, I will give away more codes. So that's just going to be limited by how many people are entering and how many people are commenting. Let's get this channel to over 1,000. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.